OK， 继续啦。快乐苏联火箭开始，先玩飞机。
Yes, sir.
昨天，我做金矿。
Awaiting orders. Acknowledge.
No.
Awaiting acknowledged. Affirmative.
那个不小心条炸断了，是不是有点不妙
Ready and waiting. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. At once. Very well.
Construction complete. Unit
太棒了！
lost.
哦，我不炸也会敌人炸，太棒了！
Mission loaded.
被搞，
Building.
直接被搞。
Yes,
哎
sir.
呀酷！
Acknowledged.
上飞机去打。
Comrade. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Construction
指挥
complete.
前线站有什么用？
New construction options. Low power. Building.
哇，刚好过。
Construction complete.
只有飞机选射火焰塔，有
Building.
用吗？
Construction
好
complete.
奇，
New construction options.
没有用。
Training. Unit
飞
ready.
机没有多的飞机到了。
Ready and waiting. Yes, sir. At once.
介入附近。
Training.
那狗狗
Unit
160，
ready.
狗狗比步兵还贵。
Unit ready. Training.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Training.
Ready and waiting.
Unit ready.
At once.
Training. Unit ready.
Reporting. At once.
The button。
Mission saved.
它这个4K 重置版真的是，其实重置的还不错，只是这个游戏本体就操控性本来就没有那么好，没有比2代好。我先去装一下2代，哇，那个没有
At once.
让别人的插
Very
件
well. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Very well.
Silos
会有多
needed.
麻烦。
Building. Construction complete.
我也没有坦克
Training
可以做，
Unit ready. Training.
Reporting well.
Unit
Agreed.
ready.
Affirmative.
Training.
At once.
Unit
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Training. Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Training.
Affirmative. At
交
once.
通的配搭
ready.
Very well. Yes, sir. Agreed. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative.
哎，
Yes, sir.
2、
Yes, sir.
3、
Reporting.
2，
Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Agreed. Very
哇
well.
哇哇！一
Comrade.
下那个，
Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once.
打烂了，
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well. Yes, sir.
只是轻
Yes,
松
sir.
模式
Affirmative. Affirmative.
，too easy。
At once. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course. Affirmative. Very well. Yes, sir.
这个大炮超级烂，
Affirmative.
这
Very
个大
well.
炮真的超烂，
Of course.
跟坦克1对1也打不赢。
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well.
我要
At
去看那
once.
个炮到底有没有，如
Silos
Yes,
needed.
sir.
果它要死电的话，
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Of course. At once. Yes, sir. Of course. Yes, sir.
Silos needed.
Very well. At once. Yes, sir. At once. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have
Affirmative. At
arrived.
once. Of course. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well. Of course.
还会这样其他
Reporting. Yes, sir.
不喜欢
Agreed.
No? Not yet?
Agreed.
The hell?
Silos needed. Training. Mission accomplished.
OK 胜诉。噔噔噔噔。虽然他跟那个泰伯伦之类的兵种互换，可是我觉得苏联兵都稍微强势一点点。
At the rate of our noble comrades' advance, we will occupy all of Europe within 60 days.
Perhaps, but 11 months over schedule. It is vital to our propaganda efforts that we take Berlin before Comrade Stalin's birthday.
每个都在邀功。
Comrade Gradenko, did you not report all our nerve gas sites secure?
刚才那个人不是那个 Node 的那个
And how
指
did
挥
the
官
Allied
吗？
dogs eliminate our Sovrinsk facility?
Impossible! My security was...
Inefficient, as we feared. That plant was our primary site. Will there be enough nerve gas left to proceed with our plan? What about Einstein? Is his propulsion system research still on schedule?
Well,
I must report. A few hours ago, Einstein was kidnapped.
I know.
We are recovering him as we speak.
Good. Good! I do not wish to kill so committed an officer as you, Gradenko.
I don't know where Einstein is, yet. But I do know who betrayed our cause. We have tracked him down in Lund, where he undoubtedly waits to rendezvous with resistance forces. He must die a traitor's death. Get to Kriegen and use your dogs to sniff out the coward before he can take refuge in a safe house.
现实任务。
For king and country.
Explosive charge placed. Base is under attack. Reinforcements have arrived. Timer started.
好，好，靠腰，等一下，什么都没说就叫我用狗狗追人，太快了。
For king and country.
Explosive charge placed. Base is under attack. Reinforcements have arrived. Timer started.
好像不能要跟他走同个地方，太危险。这类都比较像小游戏。哦，
Ready
真有
affirmative. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Very
这个
well.
遭遇战其实设计起来比
Yes,
较
sir.
像
At once. Very well. At once. Agreed.
蛮酷的。
Yes, sir.
Yes sir。
Ready at once. At once. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
没有人了。
Very well. Agreed. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well. Affirmative. Report, yes, sir. At once. Affirmative. At once.
狗狗比较好打，
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
狗狗探路。
Ready and waiting.
偷偷躲房子。
Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir. Of course. Affirmative. Agreed. Agreed.
10
At once.
minutes.
哇！
Yes, Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. At once. Waiting orders. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Of course. Affirmative. Very well. Very well. Affirmative.
连打我比较远。
At once. At once.
9分钟要打过去了，哇！
Affirmative. Well. Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed. Yes, sir. Of course. Very waiting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well.
叛徒在那里。
Acknowledged. Very well. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Reporting. Agreed. Affirmative. Very well. Yes, sir. At once. Agreed. At once. Very well. Agreed. Affirmative. Agreed. Very well. Affirmative. Reporting. Yes, sir. Agreed. Agreed. Affirmative. Report. Agreed. Affirmative. Very well. Of course.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Yes, sir. At once. At once. Of course. Report. Yes, sir. Of course.
Mission accomplished.
所以好快。乒乒乒乒乒。秘密清扫。
Good work dealing with that spy. You please, Stalin. Make sure you never disappoint him. Now, I have a special task for you. We are amassing for our attack on Berlin. The Allies are aware of this, so we are going to, how do they say, throw them a bomb? I want you to create a diversion. Occupy their troops until we can drop soldiers behind their lines. Once the troops are in, use the soldiers to cut off Allied communications. With no early warning. We can take Berlin by surprise.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir.
所以啦，好玩的 V2 火箭来了。手干扰
Waiting. Affirmative.
通讯，摧毁所有证据
Awaiting orders. Report. Affirmative.
，easy 啦。
Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
在这里的右边，
Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
这里有一
Affirmative.
个，
Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
那就在这了
Affirmative.。
Cannot deploy here.
Acknowledge.
New construction options.
Affirmative.
Building.
这铁栅栏
Construction complete.
真是超烂的，碾过去就好。
New construction options. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Vehicle affirmative.
来车重要的，
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
他们的坦克就是带双管，
Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
Yes, sir.
Construction
Acknowledge.
complete. New construction options.
雷达、火焰塔。
Building.
有兵是比较多。
Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Acknowledge.
Construction complete.
房子没有惊喜，看有没有惊喜。
New construction options. Training. Unit ready. Building. Training. Unit
Acknowledge.
ready.
Affirmative.
Training.
Acknowledge.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Training.
Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. 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 Acknowledge. 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 Acknowledge.
Construction complete. New construction options. Low power. Building.
克制步兵跟建筑物，这个太厉害了。
Building.
Power
Unit ready.
有火箭车，
Construction
什
complete.
么都不用怕了。
Building. Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building. Construction
Building.
complete.
On hold.
Unit ready.
Cancel.
Building. Construction complete.
Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building. New construction options. Unit ready.
哎，伞兵居然这一代是在苏联那里，侦察机加伞兵，功能会不会太好？
Report. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes,
功能是
affirmative.
很好。
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
看一
Affirmative.
下，
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction
Acknowledged.
complete.
complete。
New construction options.
Awaiting
Low
orders.
power. Building. Silos needed. Construction complete. Repairing. Silos needed. Building. Unit repaired. Spike lane ready. Unit ready. Silos needed.
它只
Yes,
是一个通
acknowledged.
道而已。
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Silos
Affirmative.
needed.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Silos needed，
Building.
没有做
Construction complete. Building.
什么前
Silos
挖那么
needed.
快，
Building. Unit ready. Construction complete. Building. Unit ready.
Waiting orders.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Yes,
Building.
vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Perfect protect。
Vehicle
Unit
reporting.
ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledging orders.
Construction complete. Unit ready.
Vehicle
Building.
acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Affirmative.
Building. Spike lane ready. Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Report acknowledged. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
太惨了，
Select target.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Waiting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Report acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
affirmative。
Acknowledged.
伞兵，
Select target.
嘿嘿嘿，
Reinforcements have arrived.
啊，只有30。
Ready and affirmative. Course at once. Yes, sir. Acknowledged at once. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Silos needed. Repairing.
Ready and waiting.
Silos
Very
needed.
well.
Unit prepared.
Acknowledged.
Spike lane
Very
ready.
well.
Repairing. Unit prepared.
Affirmative. Once. Ready and
Silos
waiting.
needed.
Yes, sir.
Repairing.
Affirmative.
Unit repaired. Building. Repairing. Building. Construction complete. Unit ready. Building. Unit repaired. Unit ready. Construction complete. Repairing. Unit repaired. Building. Unit ready. Construction complete. Cancel. Building. Unit ready.
哎，它有隐藏，不然有那个隐
Building.
藏器。
Unit ready.
Yes,
Building.
sir. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
Building. Construction
Affirmative.
complete.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready. Building. Unit ready.
没有
Building.
没电。
Low power. Repairing. Unit ready. Building. Unit repaired. Construction complete. Unit ready. Building. Insufficient funds.
直接圈起来 A 过去，大家要赢。
Reporting.
Construction complete.
At once.
Unit ready. Building.
起来 A 过去，
Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative.
Spy plane ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle report lost. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Report negative.
Unit lost.
Waiting for the affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Waiting for acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
音效，它太大声。
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
商讨待之地，
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Select target.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
哈哈哈哈，
Acknowledged.
圈起来 A 过去，
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Select
圈起来 A
target.
过去，
Reinforcements have arrived.
Acknowledged. Waiting orders. Waiting orders. Affirmative.
你呢？
Acknowledged.
还没，这边还有肉网之力，
Affirmative. Affirmative.
哇
Acknowledged.
飞弹是真夸张。
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Wait for affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged.
Spy plane ready.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Agreed. Very well. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once. Agreed. At once. Affirmative. At once. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Of course. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well. Affirmative. Of course. Very well. Of course. Yes, sir. Agreed. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Mission accomplished.
Accomplish。这代防御塔是真的烂，服那个磁暴线圈啊。
When you kill one, it is a
我
tragedy.
这也是还算前面的任务，后面通常都
When
有
you
点
kill
奇
10
怪。
million, it is a statistic. They call me killer, but I live only to serve the people. And the people's history will judge me. Where the Romans failed, I will succeed. Russia's borders will stretch from coast to coast, for united Russia is our destiny. Those lands were taken away by corrupt Tsarist diplomats and criminal military officers. They were the enemies of the people. But enough of this. You have served me well. Continue to do so. And your future is as bright as the star of the Soviet Union. As a reward for your service to the people, I wish to promote you.
升官啦！好糊哦，什么东西看不懂，看不清楚。
Your first order as field captain is to proceed to Kalkis Island. We need the ore there for a special project.
铁幕装置。
In addition, we need to capture the Allied Communications Center. We must know what those Allied dogs are up to.
结果盟军还没有那个闪电风暴，还是说都在那个附加任务 DLC 里面。
Do what you must for the people.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Affirmative.
New construction options.
岛中央
Affirmative.
战术雷达，
Building.
那
Ready
这个不能
affirmative
打
at
爆了。
once. Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Cannot deploy here.
Reinforcements have arrived. New
Ready
construction options. Building.
Awaiting orders. Very well. Reporting. Affirmative. Agreed. At once. Agreed. Very well.
非
Agreed.
常好，从开始有保
Agreed.
持
Affirmative. Very well. Very well.
全点
Very
基
well.
地。
Very well. Agreed. Very well. At once. Affirmative. 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 At once.
Construction
Affirmative.
complete. New construction options. Building.
Yes, affirmative.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
Report lead.
Training.
Agreed. Of
Unit
course.
ready.
Of course.
Base is
Of
under
course.
attack.
Of course.
Training.
Affirmative. Of course.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
可以不用搞
Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative. At
讲
once.
什么
Very
飞
well.
过去就对
Yes,
了
sir.。
Construction complete. New construction options.
比 A 过去更厉害的。
Silos needed. Construction complete. New construction options. Low power. Building. Construction complete. Building. Unit ready. Building.
Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
还有亮
Building.
可以派海海
Construction
上的东
complete.
西打，
Unit
还
ready.
是行的。
Building. Unit ready. Building. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Reporting. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Waiting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
探险呢？
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
爱河
Acknowledged.
飞弹车，
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
飞弹
Acknowledged.
车就是出剑杀，
Acknowledged.
直接射着你不要的。那有防空炮，好像也不用
Building.
Reporting well.
特别做什么。
Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Silos needed.
Waiting orders. Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
哇，
Acknowledged.
你那个
Affirmative. Affirmative.
不会
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Building.
Vehicle affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
我
Affirmative.
们要登陆，
Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
抢雷
Affirmative.
达，
Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Affirmative.
Training. Unit ready. Training.
Yes,
Unit
acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Acknowledged.
Training. Building.
Waiting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Training.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
哎，
Training.
哇，真的有
Building.
Acknowledged.
Construction
Affirmative.
complete.
Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
岛上还有东西，
New construction options. Low
这
power.
个可以闪
Building
兵跟侦察机，这个是蛮重要的。
On hold. Cancel.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Construction
Affirmative.
complete. Unit ready. Building. Building. Construction
Yes, sir.
complete.
Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Very well. Agreed. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
中间这个地方也是他们的，
Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Spy
Affirmative.
plane ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Select target.
Oh,
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Comrade. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
敌人伤害减90%，
Acknowledged.
太快乐了。
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Spy plane
Acknowledged.
ready. Select target.
Awaiting orders.
上面基地这么小一片，
Report affirmative. Acknowledged.
哎，被打了，被打了。
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Select target. Silos needed. Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements
Ready
have
awaiting.
arrived.
At once. Very well.
Silos
Yes, sir.
needed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
地方
Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. At once. Affirmative.
啊，不会小兵，
Waiting order. Very well.
Unit lost.
Very well.
Silos needed. Unit lost.
笑死。
Building.
Yes, sir.
Spy
Acknowledged.
plane ready.
Yes, affirmative. Acknowledged.
Select target. Unit ready. Silos
Yes,
needed.
acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, affirmative.
雷
Acknowledged.
达，没有看到雷达。雷达圆顶，这个旁边有随时有东西可以炸它。
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Silos
Affirmative.
needed.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building. Building. Construction complete. Unit ready. Building. Construction complete.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Waiting order.
Building.
诶，这边没有海滩
Repairing. Repairing.
哦。
Unit repaired. Repairing.
这边居然没海滩。
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative.
Unit repaired. Spy plane
哦那一定
ready.
要我们打过去之后再。
Unit ready.
没有海滩。
Building. Select target. Unit ready.
OK。大概了解啊。
Training.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Reporting.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Training.
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Insufficient
小
funds.
兵杀手。
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Training. Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting orders. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Very
雷
well.
车列车的使用。
Affirmative. Very well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well. Of course. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Of course. Agreed.
他一不小心就打爆了。
Mission
Yes, sir.
saved.
Very well. Of course.
Spy plane ready.
Very well. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. Very well. Agreed.
Good.
Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Training.
多做几个。
Select target. Unit ready. Training. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Vehicle acknowledged.
哎，晚上好，早上面安安呐。哇，快乐苏联，我们有
Yes, sir.
V2 火箭了，太快乐了。
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting order. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
不正差一
Yes,
局
sir. Affirmative.
First objective met.
First objective，
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Engineering.
New
Affirmative.
construction options.
然后变红色。
Preparing.
Yes, sir.
哎，工程师想要抢回来，呵呵，
Spy plane ready.
想得美。这边可以做敌人的兵。
Building. Construction complete. New construction options. Primary building selected.
Yes,
Training.
affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Base is under
直
attack.
接解除。
Yes, affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
算了算了，
Affirmative.
不必要了。
Affirmative.
占领这个之后，就是中间全部拆光光。啊，我家的船，
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
啊，灯倒了。
Acknowledged. Waiting order. Affirmative.
Select target. Reinforcements have arrived.
Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Comrade. Vehicle reporting.
哎，秒杀，这么过分的吗？
Yes, sir.
Building.
Vehicle reporting.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
这偷打，
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Construction
Yes,
complete.
sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
New
Yes,
construction
affirmative.
options.
Affirmative.
啊，哦，他有
Spy plane ready.
Yes,
所以他是要叫我去
Awaiting orders.
去上面扎一下。
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Repairing.
Reporting.
Unit prepared.
Reporting. Comrade,
玩
acknowledged.
素人比较知道对方弱点吧。我可能偷
Yes,
吃
sir.
不
Acknowledged.
该休闲比较好打，
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
因为我换难度我不知道会不会差。
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
不过苏联可以侦察机，可以伞兵，
Yes, affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
还有 V2 火箭
Affirmative.
怎么输？
Affirmative.
有 V2 火箭要怎么输？
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Reporting. Acknowledged. Yes, acknowledged. Acknowledged. Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Waiting
盟
order.
军哦，差别是那个子弹兵跟火箭兵吧。这火箭兵其实是大家都有。盟军哪一个比较强？盟军坦克跟小坦克跟大坦
Affirmative.
克，应该是那
Affirmative.
个火炮车吧？
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
火
Acknowledged.
炮车
Silos needed.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
哎，对，
Affirmative.
你
Acknowledged.
说的对，那
Affirmative.
是我占领最大火箭。
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
盟军的这个火箭兵是特别痛，是
Yes, sir.
Silos needed.
Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged.
因为它范围也是蛮小，
Affirmative.
然后走路也算慢，
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
对啊，比那个
Acknowledged.
比这个防空炮厉害好几倍。
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
就是脚短，
Acknowledged.
其实脚短的
Silos needed.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
是苏联的那个齿路直升机，它也要打蛮多次
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
的，可
Acknowledged.
能会被齿路直升机给打坏。
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Silos
Affirmative.
needed.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Awaiting orders. Acknowledged.
哎
Yes, sir.
过去跟人家抢
Affirmative. Yes, affirmative.
抢矿了，
Acknowledged. Report read. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
盟军比较强的是那个巡洋舰，
Silos
那个
needed.
大炮又远又痛的。可是我这个难度是休闲，休闲就
Silos
不太准。
needed.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
休闲可以通比较快一点。
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
说的对，那个巡洋舰直接远距离狙击，
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
直接死
Affirmative.
烂。
Select target. Reinforcements have
那
arrived.
怎么还有敌人？
Silos needed.
踢
Comrade
可以
acknowledged.
踢过来抽一脚
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Reporting.
，reporting。
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Silos
Acknowledged
needed.
once. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Silos
Yes,
needed.
sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Comrade. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building. Select target.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Awaiting orders. Yes, affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
占领喽！来占领你家喽！
Affirmative.
小招，
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
还有小
Affirmative.
招
Yes,
可以
sir.
弄。
Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Waiting affirmative. Affirmative.
Waiting order。
Building. Construction
Yes, sir.
complete.
好，空袭。
Primary building selected. Building.
重型坦克海过去了。
Spy plane ready. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative.
Unit
Reporting.
ready. Building.
Acknowledged. Waiting
Unit
order.
ready.
Yes, sir.
Building. Unit
Affirmative.
ready. Building.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Affirmative.
哇，你可以穿墙射哦！哇，那是
Affirmative.
有点过分。
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Comrade. Acknowledged.
对面还想用窃贼，
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
哇，这个是迷彩的，
Affirmative.
这个
Affirmative.
迷彩有杀吧？平常没办法仔细看。
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
千万不要打烂。
Mission
Acknowledged.
select.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
开包的，
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Waiting orders. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
开
Second
光。
mission accomplished.
等后面玩一下那个扩展任务。打得快的话，远方雷鸣。简单的。
You said this would not happen. No matter how many we kill, they keep coming.
The United Nations begins to back their cause.
Condemn them to hell, incinerate them before they grow stronger. You are failing me.
The bombs are almost ready, Comrade Stalin. The final elements are being transported from Gorzov Air Base.
How?
By truck convoy. Here.
Guard them with your life.
有自爆坦
They
克，
must get through to Gorzov. If you fail, do not return.
哎、明明是你旁边那个人的国告屁事哦！嘣，一弹好像苏联目前为止只有这台潜水艇，
Reinforcements have arrived.
没有其他的。
Yes, sir. Awaiting acknowledged. Acknowledged.
哎、
Affirmative.
刚开始
Acknowledged.
直接
Yes,
受
sir.
伤，
Awaiting acknowledged. Affirmative. Comrade.
这两台
Affirmative.
是要运送
Acknowledged.
带卡车到另外一个海岸。
Yes, sir. Waiting acknowledged. Acknowledged.
这里有挖
Affirmative.
矿的，
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
有矿
Acknowledged.
一点点。
Acknowledged.
我们现在在最左下角，
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative.
感
Acknowledged.
觉要
Acknowledged.
先到定点，确保卡车到东北方的营地。
Acknowledged.
东
Affirmative.
北方营地，还有那个吗？
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
然后刚开始给11000，
Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
Holy shit!
Affirmative.
No
Acknowledged.
no no no!
Affirmative.
Shit! 剩一台车了。
Affirmative.
有
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
啊！所以我们刚开始要突破这里。
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Reinforcements
Yes, sir.
have arrived.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yeah, affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
有在打啦。
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Comrade. Acknowledged. Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
OK， 大概知道
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
往哪边打了。
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
New construction
Yes,
options.
sir. Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged.
Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
有时候靠不怎么上去，
Affirmative.
另外一
Construction
边
complete.
Affirmative.
New construction options. Building.
Yes, acknowledged.
Construction
Acknowledged.
complete.
Affirmative.
New construction options. Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
海边
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Repairing. Construction complete. New construction options. Building.
Report. Acknowledged. Vehicle affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Construction
Acknowledged.
complete. Unit ready. Building. New construction options.
没点
Low
到
power
科技中心，
Building. Unit ready. Construction complete. Building.
Awaiting orders.
哎，被打了，被打了，
Awaiting
Unit
orders.
ready.
Yes, sir.
Building.
Acknowledged.
Construction
Yes, sir.
complete.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
没
Building.
有工程师，
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes,
Unit
affirmative.
ready.
普红
New construction options. Building. 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 Unit
Yes,
ready.
affirmative.
Building.
Awaiting orders. Reporting. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Unit ready. New construction options. Building. Building. Construction complete. Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Acknowledged.
no 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 no
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
V2 被针
Comrating
斗了，
affirmative.
危险，
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Spy plane ready. Select target. Unit ready.
这有海洋线，
Construction complete.
Vehicle report. Waiting order. Vehicle acknowledged.
waiting order，那卷轴音，
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
退
Yes,
休
sir.
啊，不行。
Building.
从上面射不射得到？
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Comrade,
超
acknowledged.
超的，
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
好射不到，
Affirmative.
有点远。
Acknowledged.
这里有箱子
Affirmative.
可是我过
Acknowledged.
不去。
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
这里有
Acknowledged.
箱子可以
Affirmative.
进。
Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
箱子藏这么隐秘干嘛？
New construction
Yes,
options.
sir. Acknowledged.
Low power. Building. Repairing. Unit repaired. Construction complete. Spike lane ready. Repairing. Unit repaired. Repairing.
它还没好，伞兵还没好。
Unit repaired. Select target.
一只伞兵就可以搞。
Reinforcements have arrived.
以这个难度来说，可以直接搞烂他们。
Reporting. Acknowledged. At once. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Ready and waiting.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. At once.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. At once.
Silos
At
needed.
once. Agreed.
Unit
Affirmative. Yes,
lost.
sir.
五
Yes,
只
sir.
小兵
Yes, sir. Of
打
course.
烂。
Affirmative. Very well. Yes, sir. At once.
这个小兵的
Silos needed.
这小兵等级大概有30
Yes, sir.
的能力。
Unit lost.
Reporting.
两个要打输小兵了。
Yes,
Spike
sir.
lane
Outside.
ready.
At once.
Select
这
target.
才有
Silos needed.
哦，那个时候巧，他这边放了一个
Unit
这个，
lost.
有点过分。
Waiting acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
包打，
Silos
Nice.
needed. Building.
伤害好低。
Construction complete. Building.
好，我以为这边是封闭的海岸，
Unit ready. Building.
那没问题啊。
Construction complete. Unit ready. Building. Spike lane ready. Building. New construction options.
Yes,
Unit
sir.
ready.
Acknowledged.
给工程师会不会是叫我们顺便站
Unit
着？
ready. Building.
如果要输的话，他们就会自己退攻。
Reporting.
Insufficient
Acknowledged.
funds.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building. Select target. Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Affirmative.
好险他不能对空啊！
Yes, affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
4号，
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
没有看战争名录就跑去前面打了。
Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
哦，打好远哦，不会是大炮。
Awaiting affirmative. Acknowledged. Awaiting acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building. Construction complete.
Yes, agreed. Affirmative.
真的是打太远。
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
哪边在开炮？哦，
Waiting acknowledged. Yes, affirmative.
坦克被打了没感觉？
Acknowledged.
你们怎么都没感觉？
Acknowledged. Yes, affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting
这
acknowledged.
潜艇手这么短，
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
下次要包围那个
Affirmative.
潜艇。
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Select target.
Waiting order. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
过得去吗？
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
啊？哦，不管了，
Acknowledged.
不管了。
Acknowledged.
Silence needed.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Select target. Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir. Very well. At once.
哎
Very well.，
他碾下去不见了，
Yes, sir.
那个坦克怎么不见了？坦克消失之术。
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Silos
好，
needed.
这个休闲难度啊，伤害差太多，
Report
直
knowledge.
接把
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
前方
Knowledge. Yes,
南
sir. Affirmative.
难
Silos
关全部
needed.
打过。
Spy plane ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
哎，
Acknowledged.
想到你的
Acknowledged.
手
Affirmative.
手这么
Silos
短，
needed.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Silos
哦，
needed.
这个桥断断，桥断我就尴尬了。
Waiting orders. Yes, sir.
该
Comrade.
Oh.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Silos needed.
哦，好奇这边这个箱子有什么？
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
啊，送到，快
Affirmative.
点快点！
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Silos needed.
Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
啊，
Silos needed.
Acknowledged.
Spy plane ready.
Reporting.
这个可以降落吗？不行。
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Silos
Acknowledged.
needed.
等一下，
Mission
哎，
accomplished.
我一台过就快了。哎，那个箱子放在里面捡不到哎。咚咚。哦，原来你刚才这样跟我讲伞兵是那个，刚好没有跟画面对上。那也是没办法。啊，哎，明明是苏联，怎么越打越回家啊？你是一直被偷家是不是？
Что? When? Is the core safe? You must stand your ground. Stop them! The Allies attacked the Commence nuclear reactor.
I'm on my way.
No, it's too
Oh.
important.
一直被偷家。
You go. They shut off the coolant systems. The core will soon go critical. You must get inside the reactor and get the coolant towers back online.
来了，小游戏，解谜小游戏。
Warning, warning. Core temperature rising. Meltdown imminent. Time until meltdown 30 minutes.
Timer started.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Come on.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. At once. Very well. At once. Agreed. Affirmative. Agreed.
刚开始就这么刺
At
激的吗？
once. Agreed. Very well. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Very well.
跑给人家
Very
追
well.。Agreed. Very well. At once. Affirmative. 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 At once. Affirmative.
哎，这不是你家吗？啊，
Very
怎么
well.
会被
Yes,
人
sir.
打？
Agreed.
奇怪。
Agreed. Of course. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Of course. Of course. Yes, sir.
Unit
Agreed.
lost.
Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit mission failed.
呀，奇怪，这不是自己家的核反应炉，怎么东西都是别
Timer
人的？
started.
奇怪
Yes, sir. At once. Agreed. Very well. Affirmative. Once. Very well. Of course. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
打
At
上来
once.
被
Very
骗，
well. At once.
那还是
Agreed.
先不要打好了。
Affirmative. Agreed. Agreed. At once. Agreed. Very well. Agreed. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Very well. Very well. Very well. Agreed. Very well. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
啊，
At
原来
once.
故事之后
Affirmative.
就知道了。
Very well.
对
Agreed. Agreed.
先
Affirmative.
不用说，
Very well. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well.
现在解放
Affirmative.
火爆。
Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. Reporting.
火
Unit
爆了
lost.
Affirmative. Very
Unit
well.
lost.
Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Ready and waiting. At once. Affirmative.
Oh, that
Yes,
is-
sir. Affirmative. Very well.
Sleeping.
Very well. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Reporting. At once. Affirmative. At once. Agreed.
找出工程师，还要叫他拆电脑。
Mission saved.
东出了一个叛徒，又东出了，又有人在搞。
Ready and waiting. Very well. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. At once. Awaiting orders. Agreed. Affirmative.
又是那两个人，
Very well.
其中一个
Affirmative.
人在
Once.
搞。
Agreed. Agreed.
工程师跑去哪？哎，下面怎么有这个？哦，
At once. Agreed. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Agreed. At once. Affirmative. At once. Yes, sir. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Yes, affirmative. Yes,
分派工程师到冷却站。
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Reporting at once.
Yes. Engineering. Affirmative. Yes. Affirmative. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. Engineering.
那
Affirmative.
去踩点就好，然后这边有一个点。啊，然后踩这个的话，上面这个
Control
会爆
center
掉，
deactivated.
中间那个应该会爆掉。Control Center deactivate，
Engineering. Affirmative.
那总不会每
Engineering.
一个都要按。
Affirmative.
Control center deactivated.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
啊，对，没关系。
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Reporting. Agreed. At once. Agreed.
Control center deactivated.
Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
哎，弹雅，哈哈哈。
Control center deactivated. Our base is under attack.
哪里？哦，有了有了。
Acknowledged.
煮
Report
面
affirmative.
煮面板法。
Affirmative. Very well.
对对对。
At once.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Engineering. Affirmative.
Control mission accomplished.
Control rod withdrawn. Meltdown averted. Have a nice day.
Dun, 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 dun. 速通。哈哈哈哈哈。
I promised you Berlin, Joseph. Did you doubt me?
If I did, I would kill you.
How better to show you my love than to give you a city for your birthday?
I could think of a few possibilities. Yeah. What?
地道跳起来。哈哈哈哈哈哈！真好看。
Some things you are not cleared to see. Come, we are late for the briefing.
哦，
What is so important you interrupt a private briefing, Gradenko? Oh, you waste our time with magic shows?
This is Elba Island. Reconnaissance detected an Allied transport landing. Our agents went there, saw this, shot the videotape, and then nothing. It hadn't moved. We would have caught them. It simply disappeared.
Show me again. It's impossible. Whole units. I must know what can do this, Nadia. If it is a weapon, I must have it.
虽然说坦克上有个架子
Prove
就
a
是。
formidable companion to our Iron Curtain project.
Iron Curtain?
You don't need to know about this, Comrade Kukov. Do we control Elba Island?
The area's resistance
Oh,
continues to offer the Ally support, but we have been dealing with
That's
No
all kind.
excuses, comrade. We need that island. No, Gradenko. You stay. Send the captain to handle this.
又是我。
Use our subs to keep more Allied units from landing and eliminate our enemies from the island.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost. Building.
Very
Acknowledged.
well.
屁啦，刚开始怎么正常难度这两支兵怎么打赢那个刚才那坨？那台车偏偏两下
Very well.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
放上面好了。
New construction options. Building.
不受盟军控制。OK，
Reinforcements have arrived.
Ready waiting.
下面经
Agreed
过好
at
找。
once. Very well.
Building.
Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Construction complete. Reinforcements have arrived. New construction options.
哎呦，特斯拉圈圈呢？特斯拉好贵。
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Silos needed.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
他们这种就是中间
Unit ready.
中
Building.
中立大
Construction
陆
options.
兵，
Low power. Building. On hold. Cancel.
Yes,
Unit
sir.
ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative.
Construction complete. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative.
速推
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Construction
Affirmative.
complete.
摧毁所有建筑物，easy 啦，直接碾过去就好了。哎，科技中心，
Building.
小时候他怎么没有那个
Construction
啊？机
complete.
场要改。
New construction options. Building. Insufficient funds. Construction
Yes,
complete.
acknowledged.
New construction options.
哎，他这边有绿烟呢。
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
哦，空降炸弹，7分钟，有点久。
Building.
好多火箭兵。
Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Building.
affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
太嫩了，3台坦克灭1架，
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
然后也不用太多
Acknowledged.
太
Affirmative.
多单位了，碾过去就好了。
Spy plane ready.
Waiting. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
没
On
钱
hold.
啊，
Cancel.
再盖一个。
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
地图是大海岛，
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Spy plane ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
那边还有钻石。
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. At once. Affirmative.
Low power. Building. On hold. Cancel. Building. Construction complete. Insufficient funds. Unit ready. Building.
Reporting acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit
Select
ready.
target.
Unit
Spy
ready.
plane ready.
他丢这了。
Unit ready. Building.
哎，直接跑去跟那个人家收，
Affirmative. Affirmative.
太勇敢了。
Yes, sir.
练练
Yes,
啥
sir. Of course. Very well. Affirmative. Of course. At once. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
直接涂过去，涂。
Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Of course. Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
还没有到，我要
Very
转。
well. Yes, sir. Of course. Affirmative. Of course. Agreed. At once. At once. Agreed. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once. Very well. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Agreed. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once. Of course.
Spy
Of
plane
course.
ready.
Yes, sir. At once. Affirmative. Very well.
越野车来
At
干嘛？
once. Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once. Yes, sir. Of course. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. Agreed. At once. Very well. Affirmative. Affirmative. Very well. Very well. Agreed. Affirmative. Very well. Agreed.
还
Select
有一块
target.
敌
Yes,
军的右翼。
affirmative. Affirmative.
哇，我的小兵
Affirmative.
被碾烂。
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Silence needed.
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building. Building. Construction complete. Building. Unit ready. Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders at once. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Of course.
Building.
Of course.
Select
地方
target.
空降这样。
Unit ready. Building. Reinforcements have
Yes, sir.
arrived.
Yes, sir. Of course. Agreed. Very
Unit
well.
ready.
Affirmative. Very well.
Building.
哎，
Unit
Waiting orders.
lost.
刚刚一个位置。
Yes, sir.
Spy
Very well.
plane ready. Unit ready. Building.
Awaiting orders,
Unit
sir.
ready. Select target.
好像没有什么好炸。
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Of
Unit
course.
lost.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
没啦。噔，啾，好，输了。
Yes,
Unit
acknowledged.
lost.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged.
Spy plane ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
好狠！
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged.
Unit Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
离痕是吧？
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
我也碾过去了。
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Select target.
在哪里？地方。
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
对，
Acknowledged.
碉堡跟抓羊不一样。
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Waiting. Acknowledged. Waiting orders. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
听说
Unit ready. Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Spy plane ready.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged.
上次两个实在太猛。
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
还有
Acknowledged.
谁？要漏网之鱼。
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
海上的该不会也要打过？
Reporting. Yes, sir.
Wait a minute.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
真的假的？海上等一下打光光。
Select target.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Naval unit lost.
Vehicle report.
Hey, some,
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Not manual.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
人家前进慢慢游，
Affirmative.
前面没有空
Awaiting
多
orders.
空潜艇们去探险。
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
有没有东西啊？
Affirmative.
北多矿。
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
哎，我踩到地了耶！
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Spy plane ready.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building. On hold.
哎
Cancel.
干什么？
Affirmative.
干什么？
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle
Unit
acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit
自己
Acknowledged.
跑出来送，
Building.
Waiting order.
那也是没办法。
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Select target.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Report. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
哎，
Yes,
这个多一
acknowledged.
艘小船，
Affirmative. Yes, affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Mission accomplished.
所以呢，小小岛。哦，所以它这个电厂已经算是核子反应炉了。算吗？看不出来。15分钟，这15分钟不知道是快转还是真的15分钟。超速前进，看剧情。笑屁笑啊
Lucky boys. No one must hear of this. Do you recognize these names?
They are your generals. But I don't see my name.
Be thankful. I named these men as traitors. They're plotting to kill me. They think I will destroy Mother Russia.
But you?
You have always stood by me. When I regained the lands stolen by the Europeans and the Chinese, you were there. You fought nobly to make my dream come true. So now, I'm going to give this honor to you.
右边这个是 Node 的，超像的，还是根本一模一样。鸟进工厂，人不妨给他来一枪。
Sign them.
Huh?
Reaffirm your loyalty to me by ridding Russia of her enemies.
"光头怎么站这么近？就是那个长官的
Curious. Stalin said nothing about the truck Gradenko abandoned.
Containing elements of Iron Curtain.
Yes. We must get it back. I'm sure you'll find a suitable way to handle Comrade Gradenko.
The truck and its contents were abandoned somewhere in this region. The Allies captured the truck and brought it to this way station.
诶，
They intend to move it to safe territory and study its contents carefully.
我还以为中间这个是
We cannot risk recapturing the truck. It is now a liability.
是叛徒，
Do
结
not
果
allow
是那
the
个
truck
喝酒的那
and
个
the
才是
Allied
鬼。
unit to leave the area.
啊，你也是很偷看人家调情。
Low power.
哎，刚来直接什么都没
Report
有。
acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, acknowledged.
Training.
哎，电厂可以修，这个可以修，这个可以修。
Unit ready.
雷达
Training.
可以修。
Yes, sir.
Unit ready. Training.
Engineering. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Engineering affirmative. Acknowledged.
天骑坦克，我、这边也叫长毛象坦克。
Building.
这个好贵。
Training.
3000
Construction complete. Unit ready.
地对空飞弹。
Building.
Engineering affirmative.
你玩那干嘛？运送我们的秘密武器。带着卡车离开此去摧毁它。摧毁那台卡车。
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Awaiting knowledge.
Repairing.
Affirmative.
Repairing. Construction complete.
Complete。
Unit repaired.
Affirmative.
Repairing.
还有什么要做？战车工程。
Building. Unit repaired. Construction complete. New construction options.
Acknowledged.
上面有偷藏东西吗？
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
那这帮怎么
Affirmative.
没见时
Acknowledged.
间？
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
Construction
Acknowledged.
complete.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Acknowledged.
Waiting order。
New construction options.
Acknowledged.
Low power.
Yes,
Repair.
affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Unit repaired. Base is under attack.
我的塔，我的
Building.
电塔，衰烂。
Vehicle affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Construction complete. Building. Unit lost.
再盖一个。
Yes, sir.
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
火焰喷射。
Unit ready. Building. Construction complete.
同样位置不给盖。
Unit ready. Building. Repair.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Building. Construction complete. New construction options.
一个机场涵盖3个能力，会不会太狠？
Building.
重型坦克啊，我的天骑坦克呢？我不是有科技中心了吗？他没有天骑坦克给我，
Unit ready.
这么难过。
Building.
Yes, sir.
不是天骑，长
Report
毛象。
affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Building.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Yes, sir.
ready.
Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Awaiting
Building.
orders.
Unit ready. Building.
对啊，火箭塔要吃电。
Unit
Awaiting
ready.
orders.
工程师想干什么？
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
还想偷偷的？
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Spy plane ready.
这里。 哎，他有那个
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
那个以前叫什么遮蔽塔，
At once. Very well. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once.
我小兵过去应该
Our
可以
base is under attack.
打掉。
Vehicle report. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Building.
Report. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
工程师
Training. Unit ready.
Report.
Building.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Our base is under attack.
Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Spy plane ready.
Engineering.
Construction
为什
complete.
么？
Affirmative. Affirmative.
按可以修，然后不能修，太难过了。
Affirmative.
那个很贵，
Affirmative.
Our
修一
base
个
is
很
under
贵。
attack. Repairing. Repairing. Repairing.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
不
Affirmative.
能修啊！工程师作假的，那个工程师
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting.
哦，那 reporting，
Select target.
哎
Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
完了，还没事。
Unit ready.
长矛像塔克可以打通，
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
还有民兵啊，
Acknowledged.
还有民兵机，
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
太嫩了。
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Our base is under
Acknowledged.
attack.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Spy plane ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Our base is under attack.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Building.
Vehicle report acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
升
Affirmative.
起来 A 过去，
Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
升起来 A 过去，这边应该没了吧？
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
嗯，那边还有
Affirmative.
宝石欸，
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Select target. Building. Repairing.
Awaiting orders.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
旁边还有其他基地，
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Base is under attack.
Vehicle reporting.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative.
Building. Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Spy plane ready.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
发现小偷，
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Affirmative. Yes, affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
蓝军
Yes,
这
sir.
地端
Acknowledged.
这么开啊？
Select target. Our base is under attack. Prepare.
也没有
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
绕路来的。
Waiting order. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Awaiting. Acknowledged.
Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
哎，船怎么开走了？
Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
船怎么不见了？
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
哦
Acknowledged.，
那应该是这样绕一圈下来，
Affirmative.
好像也没办法。
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Spy plane ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged.
战
Affirmative.
舰在偷打
Acknowledged.
呀！
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Select target.
战舰的部分
Silence.
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Silence needed. Unit lost.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
即刻轮
Base
换
is under attack. Preparing. Silos needed.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
lost.
Affirmative.
Select target. Reinforcements have arrived.
马丁来这边玩的
Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Spy plane ready.
Acknowledged.
Silos needed.
Awaiting
Affirmative.
orders.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
哎，赶车啊！
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
基地好像在右边。
Failed.
哈哈！我打太快了，他不是要……啊哈，他不是要找那个逃跑的坦克？鸡鸡，这把我没存档。他不是要
Low power. Our base is under attack.
带着卡车离开此区，前去摧毁它？
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Training.
啊！
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Preparing. 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 Unit ready. Training. Unit repaired.
打爆！他也没有时
Unit
间倒
ready.
数。我
Training.
刚才没看到那个
Repair.
类似那个卡车的，奇怪。
Unit ready.
Yes,
Training. Unit prepared.
Engineering.
Repairing. Unit ready. Building. Unit repaired.
你有看到？我什么都没看到，
Construction complete.
Affirmative.
我眼撇了，我什么都没看到。
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Vehicle reporting.
Construction complete. Building.
Engineering. Affirmative. Vehicle
Construction
acknowledged.
complete.
Yes, sir.
图
Affirmative.
案在
Acknowledged.
下面，下面比较好赚。
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
速通。有 Model 海亚库模式。
Construction complete.
我的堂
Building.
各工厂。
Yes, sir.
Repairing. Construction complete. New construction options. Building. On hold. Cancel. Building. Construction complete.
不用 V2 火箭了，直接碾过去。
Unit ready. Building. Unit ready. Building. Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Our base is under
Affirmative.
attack.
Affirmative.
Construction complete. Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged.
Repairing.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Vehicle
Unit
report
ready.
affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
啊？真的假的？
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
哦，哈哈，害我兴奋了一
Awaiting
下，
orders.
有这
Affirmative.
种 bug。
Reporting.
Building.
煤矿的，
Building.
Yes, sir.
多
Acknowledged.
出几只，
Construction complete.
有干死，没办法。
Unit ready. Building. Cannot deploy here. Low power. Building. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
电塔血会变天启的，哦，
Unit ready.
有点难。
Building.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
走过去的瞬间，
Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Insufficient funds.
Affirmative.
Repairing.
Yes, sir.
Construction complete.
Affirmative.
Cannot deploy here. Unit repaired.
Reporting.
嘿，我走，盖下去，浪费钱。再一次，
Building.
Yes, sir.
干什么？要圈不到。
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Waiting order. Reporting. Acknowledged.
定要的，
Our base is under attack. Construction complete.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
哎，不能盖。
Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Low
Yes, sir.
power.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
这样有成功吗？
Acknowledged.
Building.
Reporting.
看不出来有没有成功。
Construction complete.
电塔的血会变天启，看起来好像没成功。
Awaiting orders. orders.
Building.
Reporting.
打爽了
Acknowledged.
嘞！
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Our base is under attack. Prepare. Prepare. Construction complete.
然后有点难，卖掉。
Structure sold.
Ready and waiting. Affirmative. Agreed. Awaiting orders.
哎，那为什么刚才推掉没有小编？这个推掉有小编。
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit
去
ready.
帮他们拓
Building.
矿，被打成巴西
Awaiting。or acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Building. Insufficient funds.
Acknowledged.
Our base is under
Acknowledged.
attack.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
继续挖，继续挖。
Waiting order. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Mission
Acknowledged.
saved.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
蓝色的东西在哪
Affirmative.
里？
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
哦，这个
Affirmative.
哎，什么？
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Our base is
Acknowledged.
under attack.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Construction complete.
Acknowledged.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
还有雷车，
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative.
看蓝的
Acknowledged.
东西在哪里？
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Our base is under attack.
Waiting order. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
打一打，突然被我站起来。
Insufficient funds.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
该
Affirmative.
不会要
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
沿着
Affirmative.
那个
Acknowledged.
地图外的
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
这边走
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready. New construction options. Building.
没
Yes,
错。
affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged.
哎，我是不是少一台电？
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit mission failed.
你这次你有看到吗？我什么都没看到哎。
Mission loaded. Building.
Engineering acknowledged.
该不会在这边吧？猜太爽也不行。
Our base is under attack. Prepare. Unit ready. Building. Construction complete. New construction options.
Report
Unit
acknowledged.
ready. Building.
Ready and waiting.
Awaiting or acknowledged. Affirmative.
Reporting. Affirmative. Very well. Agreed.
归
Agreed.
回
Insufficient
它。
Agreed.
funds.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well. At once. Agreed. Agreed. Affirmative. Very well. At once. Agreed. Agreed. Of course. Very well. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit
course.
ready. Building.
Yes, sir. Of course. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit
Very well.
ready.
Of course. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. At
都有
once.
这个中立
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
军的时候还没
Yes,
出
sir.
事，
Spy
Very
plane.
well. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Of course. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Of course. Affirmative. Of course. Very well. Yes, sir. Of course. At once. Very well. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well. Of course. Affirmative. Very well. Agreed. At once. Yes,
Base
sir.
is under attack.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Of course. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
太开心了，
Affirmative. Of course.
太爽爽了。
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Of course. Affirmative. At once. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Agreed. Agreed. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Very well. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. At once. Very well. Affirmative. Very well. Affirmative.
左边有
At
一
once. Very
个
well.
桥，
Affirmative. Once.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
At once.
这边
Affirmative.
有个
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Of course. Very well. At once. Agreed. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. At once. At once. Affirmative. At once.
哎呦哎
Agreed.
哎哎哎
Agreed.
哎哎哎！
At once. Agreed. Agreed. At once. Affirmative. At once. Very well. Affirmative. Agreed. Very well.
打一打那
Affirmative.
Our
个
base is under
桥
attack.
就烂掉了。
At once. Very well. Affirmative. Agreed. At once. Very well. Agreed. Affirmative. Ready to wait. Very well.
兄
Affirmative.
弟呀
Agreed.，
不要卡着
Yes, sir.
卡在
Acknowledged.
路上。
Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
来吧，
Acknowledged.
直接
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
分
Yes,
分开来
affirmative. Vehicle report.
分头行动。
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
然后这边投
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Vehicle acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Our base is
Vehicle
under attack.
reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Silos.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
啊，找到了。
Mission accomplished.
好小一台啊！那台如果从正面进去，说不定就看不到它了。只有第一次的时候你有看到。走那一边呢、过分了。
Advancement in the Soviet army can be rapid. Continue to accumulate victories, and the future is yours. One of our convoys is moving through enemy territory. You have been assigned to defend the convoy as they move through the area. Be sure that they reach their destination intact. As a reward for your esteemed service, you have been given a great honor. Our latest advancement in air warfare, the MiG attack aircraft, is at your
米格
disposal.
攻击机，
Essentially a bomber. Use it to destroy heavy concentrations of Allied armor.
装甲单
With
位，
this and your standard complement of Yak
噗噗噗噗噗
aircraft, you should have no problem in keeping the convoy safe.
Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived.
米格战机
New construction options. Convoy approaching.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Building.
Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged.
车
Yes,
不是很够
affirmative. Affirmative.
哎、不是的。啊，我没有
Yes,
没有
sir.
多的工厂啊
Comrade.。Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Waiting order.
OK， 好的。
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
我上不用飞机也行。
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Spy plane
Affirmative.
ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
有点快撑不住。
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. At once. At once. Affirmative. Agreed. Affirmative. Agreed.
剩3
Very
台
well.
坦克，
At once. Affirmative. At once. Very well. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. Report. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
这路实在是不是很好看
Affirmative.
的。
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Report. Affirmative. Affirmative. Vehicle acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Agreed. At once. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Ready and waiting.
他只能单控一支坦克，不好控。
Reinforcements have arrived. New construction options. Reinforcements have
Yes, sir.
arrived.
Acknowledged.
Convoy
Waiting
approaching.
order. Reporting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Reporting. Yes, sir. Reporting. Affirmative.
啊，打坦克不行，载具跟建筑物可以。
Awaiting orders.
多烂。
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Awaiting affirmative.
Spy plane ready.
Affirmative. Comrade, affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
啊，填装太慢。
Select target.
好像要叫侦察机这样慢慢看过去。
Reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative.
最后目标在哪里？好像走到最左边就可以了。
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Spy plane ready.
Acknowledged.
Select target.
Acknowledged.
Unit lost. Building. Unit ready. Building.
我搓一台4秒，
Comrade.
这么快？
Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Affirmative.
Building. Unit ready.
Waiting order.
Waiting order。
Acknowledged.
Spy plane ready.
那还是，那还可以对空哦。
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Select target.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting order,
Unit
sir.
lost.
发现这边哪里
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
死一只掉在那里。OK，
Yes,
克制
sir.
建筑物跟克制步兵
Reporting.
分开来。
Building. Unit ready.
Waiting order.
Waiting order。
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Spy plane ready.
Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. No problem. Acknowledged.
Unit lost. Building. Unit ready. Building. Unit ready. Building.
Yes, sir.
Unit ready.
Vehicle reporting.
过一波
Acknowledged.
打电扫好了。
Affirmative. Waiting order. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Acknowledged.
Select target. Unit lost.
那这好像很难打啊，但是很难打到没电，
Awaiting
不过也没有
orders.
钱。
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
对到没有钱
Yes, sir.
怎么办？还是说不管他
Comrade
直接走过去？
acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
打电场那个是个
Signal
文字的
flare
选择。
detected.
Acknowledged.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Affirmative.
Reinforcement. Where?
Timer started.
Where? 哦，好，
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Spy
Affirmative.
plane ready.
真的假的？这3只要占这个。
Reporting. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Select target.
Yes, affirmative. Affirmative. Engineering.
好， 干的我挖矿。
Engineering.
哦，我懂了，占领把它卖掉。
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
占领你要把它
Vehicle
卖掉。
report acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
这要
Acknowledged.
是一
Affirmative.
般难度可能打不太过。
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Spy plane
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
10
Affirmative.
minutes remaining.
过来，
Acknowledged.
哦，还有现实，
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Report
稍微
acknowledged.
打一下。
Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
New
Affirmative.
construction options. Structure sold.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Awaiting vehicle report. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged. Ready and waiting. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative. Waiting for acknowledged.
变红水直接卖。
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
哎哇！完蛋了，这个怎么打？
Building.
Yes, sir.
Unit
Vehicle
ready.
reporting.
这台960呢？
Affirmative.
哇，他给我盖回来。
Select target. Warning, 5 minutes remaining.
OK，
Yes, sir. Reporting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Warning, 4 minutes remaining.
Acknowledged.
只能这么办。
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
Warning, 3 minutes remaining.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Wait, acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Spy plane ready.
Affirmative.
Warning, 2
多一台
minutes
是一台。
remaining.
Waiting orders. Yes, sir. Engineering. Affirmative. Affirmative. Ready and wait, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Very well. Very well.
Warning, 1
Very well.
minute remaining.
Very well. Agreed. Affirmative.
应该是去这里吧？是吧？
Yes.
对吧？
Yes, sir. Engineering. Affirmative.
不是吗？
Affirmative.
Mission accomplished.
压秒。 险了，是吧？越打越歪。
General Kukov is late.
We have matters to discuss before he arrives.
完了，那个茶怪怪的。
Nadia, this tea is excellent.
Thank you. I prepared it myself. Incompetence will not be tolerated. We cannot allow you to endanger the Iron Curtain project any longer. I'm glad you agree.
Dealing with traitors is my responsibility.
Yes. And my pleasure.
Easy.
My spies report that the Allies are planning a major
把
naval
它
attack
丢下去台面
against
嘛。
us. You can cut them off at the refueling station. Land your MCV on a suitable island and destroy the Allies' base and refueling station. We
盟
must
军
keep
基
the
地
area
跟加
clear
油
for our
站。
submarine operations. Go. Now, General Kukov, tell me about this Allied secret weapon that you found. The chronosphere?
Ui, 刚开始就
Reinforcements have
Yes,
arrived.
sir. Affirmative.
就要操控了。OK， 时间又差不多了，明天
Mission
再来。
saved. Battle control terminated.
是时候要说888了。晚安啦，大家，晚安啦，早下面，拜拜啦。